The Queen's in such a difficult position here, isn't she? She's the Queen, she's the monarch, she has those responsibilities, but she's a mum and she loves her boy. She loves Andrew and they're very close, and he has been going frequently to see her at Windsor Castle because he lives nearby and he's got no other duties to perform, so he spends a lot of time with Mummy. And I think he's been lobbying quite hard for some kind of measured return to public life. He seems to be completely unaware of his public image. He's always been rather an arrogant man, I have to say, self-important and loves his status, and he wants that status back. And I think he persuaded the Queen in some measure that he could make a modest return to some sort of public life. But other members of the family, particularly, say, Charles and William, are adamant that is not going to happen.
Also the front page, the Mail today, and it says, Andrew asks for his royal status back and to be Grenadier Guards Colonel again, with no sort of awareness. Do they want him to be the Colonel again? So basically you've got a situation here where his brother and his nephew, who, you know, are further, are closer in line to the throne than he is, of course, are basically saying, not on our watch, mate.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew is, let's face it, he's deluded. There were many members of the military who, during the Virginia Giuffre court case, which of course he denied all the allegations and he paid her off, during that court case, they said they were absolutely embarrassed to have him as their colonel-in-chief. They don't want him. His charities were coming forward one after another saying they didn't want him to be patron. He just seems to lack any kind of self-awareness. I mean, I don't know what he wants. He has a lovely, privileged life. Living in gorgeous surroundings. He can ride around on his horse, adore his grandchildren, his children. He has a very loving family around him. And yet he wants to be respected by the public, when I'm afraid that respect is not going to be won back.
What about the respect that the public will give to our next monarch, Prince Charles, ruffling some feathers over the weekend? In fairness, these were private comments about a government policy, but you know, we wouldn't hear this sort of thing from Her Majesty, would we? He was saying that he thought that the Rwanda policy was appalling. And this makes it very difficult, doesn't it, when we're not far off having him as the next king?
Well, I take a rather different view on this because I applaud the Prince, actually, for speaking out in the way he did. When I read those reports yesterday, I thought, oh, hooray, good for him. But you see, he isn't the monarch at the moment. He is the Prince of Wales. We know a lot of what he thinks, and he has some quite controversial views, and he's expressed them. He has said he will not do so when he is king. I feel rather sorry about that. I know that he mustn't be party political if you want, but if he feels strongly about issues, I'm not sure that we shouldn't hear his voice. Everybody has a voice these days. We're all over social media with our opinions. I'm not sure that the royal family have to stay quite so stum. And I would point out that as monarch, constitutionally, according to Walter Bagehot many centuries ago, the monarch has the right to advise, to be consulted, and to warn. Now, that's quite a broad term, to warn. And if you think your government's policy is appalling, maybe you should warn.
But I mean, you risk alienating a segment of the people you are, you know, monarch over, if that's the correct royal terminology. And the problem with that is, you know, there are already questions beginning to be asked about the future of the monarchy. If you've alienated some of your people, it's a bit of a dangerous gamble, isn't it?
Well, just having a constitutional monarchy alienates a proportion of the people, the Republicans. I think as a king he should tread carefully, but if he feels very strongly about certain issues, then I personally think maybe we should move into the 22nd century and move on from Walter Bagehot a little bit, actually.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.